Which of these catch-all trays could you make the most money selling? In a recent video, I showed you how I made these 3 trays. They're all different levels of designs: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Catch-all trays are something that is really easy to make on the CNC, and they sell really well too. All the numbers that we're gonna be going over today are based on a $40 an hour labor rate. Now, that might be high for you or that might be low for you, and that's not the point. You can decide whatever you want to charge, what you think you're worth. That is an individual decision. First, let's look at this basic tray. So this tray is nothing special, just a basic tray that can be made quickly and are easy to batch out. So let's look at how much this cost us to make. So I figured up we have $3 into materials, we have $5 into labor and machine time. So this number isn't as straightforward as I spent this much time on this tray. And this is because I believe that I can batch these out. It would take me a half an hour to make one tray, but it would probably take me 35 minutes to make 6 trays. So what I did is I came up and I figured out how many of these trays I could make in an hour. And I figured I could make 8. There are endless different ways to price your work, but what I like to do for simplicity reasons is to take my materials plus my labor and times it by 1.5. The 1.5 is a 50%, right? Because that 1 is carrying my labor and my material costs. That 50% covers my overhead and my business profits. So everything is accounted for here. So $8 times 1.5 is $12. This means our business is making money at the $12 price point, after all costs are accounted for. At this price point, we have options how and where to sell it. We could easily sell it wholesale for $12 and be profitable, or we could sell this retail for $20 to $30 depending on the clientele. So let's examine this from another angle too that may help us digest these numbers. So for example, if we sell this tray for $20 and take out our labor and material costs, that leaves us with a $12 profit per tray. This $12 represents our overhead costs and our business profits because we already paid ourselves in the labor rate. Your materials are what they are, but then you need to pay yourself before the business gets paid. Or think about it this way, you need to pay an employee before your business gets paid. So your business needs to be making money on top of the labor rate. Don't just charge your materials plus your labor rate because you just gave yourself a job. You might as well go work for someone else because that's what they would pay you. So you need to, 1, cover your overhead cost, and 2, your business needs to be making money to reinvest in the business, to grow your business. So keep in mind that our price point, our personal price point, necessarily doesn't dictate what it's going to sell for. The market ultimately, the customer ultimately is going to dictate what they're willing to pay for an item. All right, so let's move on to the intermediate tray. Although more detailed in the design, this tray is smaller than the first. So we have about $4.50 into materials. For labor / machine time, we'll say $4 because I think we could easily make 10 of these in an hour. So if we add those two numbers together and times it by 1.5, that gives us $8.75 as our price point for this product. So this product is interesting because it is smaller in size. I have less into material and less into labor, but it's more detailed. So I think we could sell these for around $15 to $18 a piece. Again, increasing our efficiency by batching these out would decrease our labor and increase our profits. So if I could get this to the point where I can make 10 of these an hour or 12 of these an hour or 20 of these an hour, then those numbers all change and our price point changes, but that does not change what the market is willing to pay for it. So that's only increasing our profits. Another option is if we scaled this design up and made it more substantial, made it larger, I believe that we could sell it for more as well. But this would also increase our material cost and our labor, so we just have to figure out the trade-off there. I like this as a smaller dish, and I think this is one of those items that would sell really, really quickly, and you could sell a lot of them in the right setting of a market or a festival or a fall festival comes to mind. All right, next let's look at this advanced tray. So I know I have $10 into materials for this project. We have 3 hours into labor / machine time. If we use our previous formula, $10 plus $120 in labor times 1.5 equals $195. So this one is kind of tough for me because it's more of an art piece, and art pieces are weird. Would someone pay $195 for a 3D turtle catch-all tray? My initial reaction is no, but I always have to remind myself is that I'm not the customer. So just because I'm not willing to pay that doesn't mean someone else isn't. So something to consider in these situations with these longer machine times, you have to figure out how you value your time. When the CNC is running for 2.5 of those 3 hours, the other 2.5 hours, I'm keeping an eye on it, but it's not hands-on work. I'm able to actually work on other projects. The majority of this price being labor. If we came down in price, I think that's okay, right? Because at $195 price point, you're limiting your customer base. There's only so many people that are gonna pay for a $195 turtle catch-all tray, but you don't need to sell as many of them either. But let's say you knocked $50 off the price and maybe you sell 10 more than you would have at $195. So those are all things you need to consider. Another thing is I think we could get this machine time down and run it faster, especially on a larger CNC machine. If we had an hour into this, then that kind of changes the whole ball game. Ultimately, we have to remember that the market dictates the price of an item. And the better that we get at matching our items with our customers, getting our items, our products, in front of customers, in front of the right customers, the better we're gonna be at selling, no matter what the price point is, no matter what the product is. So from these 3 products, I think that the pumpkin tray would be the best seller, and I think it's the one that you can make the most money with. What do you think about these 3 products? Do you think you could make more money with the turtle or the general catch-all tray? Let me know down in the comments below and why you think so. So right here is the video that I made on how I made all these trays. If you want to see how I made them with all of the details, check this video out right here. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.